morning, stunning souls. Nikki here. I thought I would just jump on and share with you something that's been going through my little world at the moment, and that is to do with my morning ritual and how at the moment this self-isolation that we're in is actually quite amazing. I don't know if you're feeling it, but there's this real sense for me that I'm not governed by a routine. I'm not governed by a clock. And oddly enough, a couple of weeks ago, our clock stopped working. And it's been the best thing ever. It's driving Matt nuts. In fact, last night he was like, can we please get some batteries for that clock? And I was like, no, because at the moment while I'm home, I don't, unless I'm looking at my phone, I have no idea of what the time is, and therefore I'm having to tune into myself to know when I'm hungry, if I feel like a coffee, if I want to go for a walk, or really tuning in to how and what my natural rhythm is. And I think it's bliss. And that's what I wanted to talk to you today about. We're actually not going to do a practice just yet. I'm going to do a practice later on that I'll share with you. But for now, it is just a little chat. And I thought I would share my morning ritual with you and how recently it's changed and how I'm just loving my mornings now. So for me, when I wake up, the first thing I do now is I take a big scoop of coconut oil and I swish that around. I've done that for quite a while now, but what's changed slightly is that I'll do that outside, and I love being barefoot on the grass first thing in the morning. It's my favorite thing to do, especially when it's cold. It kind of just is this little instant hit of energy and it sparks me. So I'll swish around, and whilst I'm outside, if there's any weeds to pull out, I'll take that opportunity, or just I'll walk around. Sometimes I'll even take a shower if I'm still swishing. And then once I'm finished that, a big glass of water. And usually, if this was sort of like a work day, I would probably find myself scrambling for that cup of coffee. But a few weeks ago, I started doing this thing where before I would have a coffee, I would actually spend time looking up at the blue sky. And if it was a dark morning, because sometimes it's dark when I get up, even just flicking on a light and using the reflection of the light, so not looking directly at the light, and same with the sun, not looking directly at the sun, but letting in the serotonin levels that we get from the light and allowing that to wake me up has been massive. And it's been incredible in terms of not feeling like a coffee. I'm getting this natural hit of this reaction in my body that's waking me up without feeling like I need to quickly go and grab a coffee. So that's just one little thing I wanted to share. It's so interesting. And you know, when we try and look at our ritual, our routine as a ritual, I think something shifts there automatically. When we think about routines, you know, we can often think like feelings of the mundane come up, or governed by a clock. It's something that has become so habitual that we don't actually have to think about it. And I think that's the key, is that when we look at something like a ritual, there's this sense of presence and connection and intention behind what we're doing, which, like our yoga practice, is a gateway to the present moment. It's a gateway to being consciously active in our choices that we make. So I guess I'm leaving you with that little concept that how can you create a morning ritual for yourself versus a routine? Is this an opportunity perhaps where you could get rid of your clock? Even if you have children, I know at our kindergarten last year, and there's a nursery attached to our kindergarten, and they got rid of their clocks. You know, and obviously children, they need a rhythm. Rhythms are super healthy and important. But this concept of getting rid of the clock, whereas, you know, at 10 o'clock we change a nappy, at 11 o'clock we have morning tea, whereas getting rid of that clock allowed the educators to connect to actually what are the children needing at this present moment? What are the children telling us that they need? So it's a listening, and we can apply this to ourselves, a deep listening, especially now while so many of us are self-isolating. Do you actually need that coffee first thing you wake up? Do you need breakfast as soon as you wake up? Is that really what your body is calling for? Or are you in such a pattern, in a routine, that that's what's governing your choices as opposed to what you actually need? So as you can see, yoga on and off the mat every single day. So jump on, comment, share your little rituals, what you're doing, how maybe this could change your way of your morning routine, looking at it like a ritual. Yeah, I'm really curious to hear them, guys. And as I said, I will join you a little bit later on the mat for some movement. For now,